S is for subject production in bilingual children. First, let's break down the different parts of a sentence, which include the subject, predicate, verb, object, complements, and modifiers. In the sentence, the dog ate the bone, the dog is a subject, and ate the bone is the predicate. Within the predicate, ate is the verb, and the bone is the object. Subjects indicate who or what performs the verb. Subjects can be the action doers or simply the focus of the sentence. Subjects can either be nouns, as in the dog, proper nouns, as in Charlie, or noun phrases, as in the rubber duck. There are three main types of sentence structures seen in different languages. SVO, which follows the structure subject, verb, object, and is used in English and Spanish, as seen in the example, she ate an apple, or ella comió una manzana. SOV is subject, object, verb, and is used in languages like Korean. And VSO, which follows the order verb, subject, object, is seen in languages like Irish. Pro-drop languages are languages where subjects are optional in utterances, and speakers can choose to say them or not. Some examples of pro-drop languages include Spanish, Italian, and Japanese. The reason why a language like Spanish can be pro-drop is because the endings of verbs in conjugations, known as morphology, are very extensive. Non-pro-drop languages are languages where subjects are required and are almost always said in an utterance. Some examples of non-pro-drop languages include English, German, and French. As mentioned before, Spanish is a pro-drop language, meaning the sentences ella se despertó temprano and se despertó temprano are both accepted and grammatical utterances. English is not a pro-drop language, so the phrase she woke up early is grammatical, but the phrase woke up early is not. So when a subject is explicitly stated in a phrase like ella or she, it is called an overt subject. And when a subject is not explicitly stated, it is called a null subject, which is represented by the circle with the line through it. In order to analyze bilingual subject learning, we will first look at monolingual subject learning. In Spanish, before the middle of toddlerhood, children tend to not produce any overt subjects. When overt subjects do appear, they tend to do so at the same time as other more complicated language concepts. Pronoun rates also tend to vary among monolinguals from different dialects. Even though English is a language that requires pronouns, many children in English go through a similar early period to Spanish children, where they do not produce any subjects. How bilingual children acquire subjects is a highly debated and researched topic, where different studies have found contrasting results. One perspective is that one or both of the languages have an influence in the production of the other. For Spanish, some studies have found that English, which requires subjects, results in the overproduction of subjects in Spanish, which is a pro-drop language, and that children don't follow the same two-stage developmental pattern. Other studies have found that bilingual Spanish and English children don't necessarily overproduce subjects, but just produce a higher rate. In English, one study found the opposite relationship, that rather than Spanish lowering the rate of pronoun use in English as predicted, it increases it and results in children making fewer errors. The other perspective is that bilingual children's two languages have no influence on each other. Some studies have found that bilingual children's pronoun use tends to be similar to monolingual children's. Therefore, Spanish pronoun rates do not increase as a result of English, where subjects are required, and English pronoun rates do not decrease as a result of Spanish, where subjects are optional. So what if you notice your bilingual child producing too few or too many subjects in either or both of their languages? It's okay. It's normal for young children to not produce any subject in either language. Slowly, children start producing more subjects, which is where we see them make pronoun mistakes or errors, a natural part of language development. So what can you do to facilitate your child's learning process? Make sure the distribution of their languages is balanced. This can often be done naturally through speech at home and/or in daycare and preschool. This can also be done through watching movies and reading books in both languages. If only one parent or side of the family speaks the second language, ensure the child receives sufficient input of that language in order to be a balanced bilingual. The type of feedback a child receives is also important. Providing positive and effective feedback will facilitate your children's learning process. When children produce an incorrect utterance, do provide a contrasting string with the same meaning that corrects their mistake. Children may interpret this as a better way to express the intended meaning. Do not exactly repeat what the child said with the error, as children may interpret this repetition as an affirmation that what they said was correct. Thanks for watching!